Was that too loud?
No, that was great.
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Plan Z. When all other podcasts on the internet fail you, when Frenemies is over, when Jenna Marbles has abandoned the internet, when Gabbie Hanna is doing what Gabbie Hanna does, we're here. We're the cockroaches you can't kill. I'm Alex.
I'm Madison.
We're just a couple of girls, couple of goyles. R.I.P. Jenna Marbles. She's not dead.
Virgo Queen.
Virgo Queen.
You know this podcast is going to be saturated in...
Yeah, if you don't like astrology, this is not the podcast for you because it's going to come up quite a bit.
Speaking of, I was crying yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I know you were.
Full cancer season. And Quinn calls me, and he's like trying to cheer me up, failing because he's a Gemini. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. It's cancer season. When Leo season comes, it's going to be a different person. He starts busting out laughing.
Because he knows.
He knows.
Because we talk about it this much that everyone in our life knows. We were at a cookout last week, and we started talking about astrology, and my in-laws, soon-to-be in-laws, go, they're just talking about their planet stuff.
Their birth charts.
Their birth charts. Their birth charts. They don't have southern accents. We're in the Midwest. Let's talk about that, by the way. We are in the Midwest. If you don't live in the Midwest, it's like being stuck in 2015.
Yeah, I feel like the area, especially that we live in, is 5 years behind. 6.
It is. You, like, go into Walmart and you're like, oh my god, pineapples are everywhere. Bethany Moda is #1 on YouTube.
Zoella's still selling her shit here.
Exactly. Oh my god. Zoella was good. Zoella was a good moment.
I never watched Zoella, unfortunately.
I watched her, what's it called? Primark? It was like an English, like, TJ Maxx or something. And I remember being, like, 12 and just being like, I want to go there so bad. For what? I don't know. It's just another store. Capitalism will get you, folks.
Dirty, hungry capitalist pig.
Dirty capitalist girl. Okay.
Listen, not me with Amazon packages coming today.
We all have Amazon packages coming all the time.
Jeffrey Bezos.
Oh,
that's gonna be a dated
we
reference.
can't get copyrighted. We gotta look out for that.
Speaking of not Jeffrey Bezos, Bo Burnham and Zoella, I watched a TikTok where it was like, you know that trend where it's like, a white woman's Instagram. People are going through Zoella's TikTok and being like,
she's the original white woman. She is the original 2013 to 2015 white woman.
Has she ever been in a controversy?
This is why we have our iPads here. We're gonna look that up. What's your first topic, Madison? Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna preface this by saying I am not an... I was gonna say untouched child, but that sounded weird.
Pause. How do you spell controversy?
Girl. R-O Versy. S.
Why?
Why?
Okay, we're good.
Anyway, so it's not like common, but it's not like unheard of to be hugged by my father, right?
It is unheard of for me to be hugged by my father. We will get into that this podcast. Don't you worry. Okay. I have parental issues out the wazoo. We'll get into that.
I'm glad you have this medium.
First of all, we're not going to go into the nitty-gritty details because I'm not trying to give anyone a mental breakdown today, but... Anyway.
But like, one of my favorite memories, or not favorite memory, one of my favorite things to come back when I come back from a semester is walking into my home, seeing my father for the first time, going for that tight Midwestern white dad hug, right? So imagine my surprise. You know my laptop, how my back is to the living room? Mm-hmm. He comes up behind me and kisses me on the back of my head.
Whoa.
And
that, from a Virgo moon?
I was so shocked I didn't say anything until I was talking to Christopher, and he's like, get out of that fucking house. That is not your father.
Someone cloned him.
That's not your father.
Zoella controversies. It's gonna give me everything that I need to know about her life. Okay. They're having a baby. How fun.
Good for them.
Scrutiny and backlash over some of her actions. She was caught vlogging and driving. How dare she? As if everyone in YouTube history hasn't done that. Maybe she probably did. Like,
Oh, she had an advent calendar with poor quality and high price. Girl,
what?
That's just being an Instagrammer. Not Instagrammer, a YouTuber.
Okay, if we're going to cancel every influencer who has a bad product, we're going to be here all day. We're going to be here all day.
I do wish that those paintings that Gabbie Hanna has painted, that they go on sale.
If those are in the Metropolitan Museum in the next 50 years, that's how you know we're truly reaching the end of the world.
Girl, that's what I love most about, like, Greek art, because, like, I feel like some of it is satirical, and some of it has so much history behind it that, like, we put it up in museums, and I know if you pulled somebody out from, like, ancient Greece, put them in a fucking museum, they'd be like, this person...
First of all, Richard was on drugs when he painted that. I don't know why you guys think this is a masterpiece.
Dude, like... I want to know how much we're missing, because all of it's so unwritten, and this, that, and the next thing. I just want to know how much is controversial.
Yeah, it would be interesting, because there is something about being in the age that we are that we truly know way too much about the people we follow and enjoy their work.
Yeah, but then people get mad when I know their birthday.
Who?
Bitch, all the time. I'll text somebody on Snapchat and be like, happy birthday, and they'll be like, how the fuck did you know it was my birthday?
You know what?
It wasn't
hot take. This is my hot take. These are my hot take glasses.
No. Okay.
If you care about somebody knowing your birthday, you are probably trapped in your ego, and nobody cares about you that much. I'm just going to say it. Nobody cares about you that much that they're going to use your birthday to do something to you.
Girl, period.
Someone's going to be in these comments and be like, actually, my grandma died because someone knew her birthday. I'm very sorry, okay? I'm just saying, most of the time, people who are like, you can't know my middle name, you can't know my birthday. Why? Do you think you're that important?
I don't care if people know my middle name, because fucking, to be honest, people can probably guess it.
I have 2 of them. You can know both of them.
Your middle names. Listen, your middle names are...
We're not going to say them.
No.
For privacy reasons. That's an actual reason not to give someone your middle name. But...
Girl, this is going on the internet blasted. But... I remember the day before I graduated, we had graduation, like, the preparation thing. And the kid next to me, we were so fucking tired of what was going on. I was explaining to him why people have middle names. And he turns to me... I had a crush on the student in 6th grade, by the way. He turns to me and he goes, that shit, way more interesting than what we got going on. I'm like, thank you.
First of all, my ego would never, ever, ever survive that. I would be a horrible person after that.
Really?
Because you just validated me in a way that I can't handle. I'm glad that people do not validate me or, you know, the things I say sometimes, because I don't need to be validated.
Girl.
Trust me. I'm gonna have a few hate comments in here. I know Madison's about to be the host, and everyone's like, oh, Madison's so chill, Madison's so nice. You're either gonna love me or you're gonna hate me, baby. This is Plan Z. Where the
cockroaches you can't kill.
The cockroaches you can't kill. And guess what? A lot of people want to kill me, so you're gonna have to try.
The fact that I'm the least controversial host of the podcast. People got mad at me on TikTok recently, though.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about your TikTok drama. We're 8 minutes in.
Oh my god, so I made a TikTok to an audio from literally a video game about hot anime girls. Mm-hmm. About a child slobbering on my leg, and me being angry about it, and hitting a plush animal. Let me say this.
First of all, how dare you?
Girl, I'm getting canceled. The podcast is
First of all, we're about to have a frenemies breakdown in 2 seconds.
Girl, look how much I'm doing for this goddamn podcast. I deserve the 5%. Second of all,
already a 5% joke. I told you when frenemies ends and it does not come through, we're here. I know families is happening, but
it doesn't have the same vibe because they're not as controversial.
It does not. Except for his dad, who was just, like, wilding out.
Following porn stars on Twitter, that was so funny.
Sex positive, Gary. Sex positive. Y'all just need to let this man do what he wants to do, follow who he wants to follow, bust a nut to who he wants to bust a nut to, and just keep it moving.
This is how I know this is going to be a good podcast, because I can't remember what I was originally talking about. My controversy.
Your controversy.
Let me say this. I love kids. I want some of my own someday, this, that, and the next thing, I would never hit a kid. As much as I feel annoyed with the children in Walmart, would never hit a kid.
Yeah, it's just like a joke.
However, I feel like I accidentally dog whistled some child abusers out there.
You definitely started something in those comments that cannot be undone. Because let me tell you, I am a fan of Madison's TikToks. I feel like they're curated specifically for me.
They are.
They are. And I went into those comments after a little bit, and I was like, so either people hate you and hate what you're saying and do not understand that you would never actually hit a child and it was just like a joke to a sound, or you have truly started a support group for people who want to yeet kids into the sun. Someone was like, people should never have kids. Whoa. Whoa.
Literally, my view was not extreme at all. I would literally, in the TikTok, I said that I love the company of children because they say the darndest things. And people
children are like drunk adults. It's hilarious.
They're fucking hilarious. They do nothing.
Also, they're more aware than people give them credit for.
I'm not going to show this image on the podcast, but I need to show you because I think you're going to love this.
Was it the one you sent me earlier?
Yes.
Yes, it sure is.
Anyway.
It sure is.
It sure is, ma'am. I love children, but people in the comments are like, I want to destroy any person under the age of 8. Like, blessed be the fruit, ma'am.
I think that's trauma, first of all. I think you probably hated your childhood. Your parents probably hated you. I'm just going to take a wild guess. So now you hate kids.
Not to call you on the podcast, but I think your parents hated you, and you don't hit children.
First of all, my parents did not hate me. They could not handle me. There is a very big difference. Although, I will say this, wasn't that hard to handle. I got one detention in school ever, and my parents were like, you're a nightmare. We can't take you. I got one detention in school. I might have just screwed up the audio because I'm moving my mic too much, but it's fine.
I think you're going to be fine. One detention, really?
I got one detention.
I don't think you were rowdy in school. I think if you were the rowdiest, you just wouldn't show up.
I wasn't. Here's the thing. I'm not a rowdy person. I'm sinister. In that
Talk about a podcast.
We're gonna talk about high school for a minute. I was not popping in high school. I had a group of friends, right? But I wasn't popping. So the people who we call them preps here. I don't know what you call them around the country or whatever. Rich kids. And sometimes they would just say something that I felt the need to check. And here's the thing. I grew up with a mother who very much, we'll just say did not shelter me. We'll just put it that way.
Girl, we got the rest of the podcast to get into that.
Yeah, well, we'll give it a few episodes. But these rich kids would think they were so smart and so funny. And I'm like, your parents have not told you to shut up enough. Like, truly.
Honestly, that is not a joke.
Your parents have never told you that you are not that funny.
They told you to go bring Mr. So-and-so, Mr. Caviar. We got the country...
Caviar,
Girl, we got the country club to run.
People can, afford Nike clothes, and we're like, you rich kid! We're like, you can afford socks!
No, truly, now that I'm making my own money, I don't know what to do with it. You know what I fucking bought? You know what's coming in the mail today? More Pucky babies, baby. Speaking of...
Madison has given me probably about 7 of these toys now because she has a problem and she can't... And now she has interrupted the podcast.
No, I'm right here. You can see my nice little ass.
Okay. Ooh, nice little dump truck.
Okay, you said you didn't give me Scorpio, but I got you another Scorpio.
You know what I don't need in my life is another Scorpio.
Oh,
that's exactly what I don't need. To my Scorpio friend, if you're listening, I love you very much, and I don't mean you. My father is a Scorpio, and look at that. They just look demonic.
Libra. You have Libra.
Why are we giving Pucky advertisements in this podcast? What are we doing?
And Virgo. I got you a Virgo.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Talk about a podcast between a Hufflepuff and a Slytherin.
I appreciate them. I do.
Thank you.
But Pucky babies, if you don't sponsor us, I don't know. We're gonna have to fight.
If we ever get sponsored by Pucky,
Madison will never know peace if we get sponsored by Pucky Babies.
Pop Mart, Pucky, any of it, I will cry.
Truly. All right, you got a topic?
I wanted to bring up why I was late.
Oh yeah, let's bring that up because I had to. Fun story that I have not told you. When I was picking you up for this podcast, I took the long way around town because I knew that you needed a few more minutes.
I literally finished up right when you texted me you were here. So thank you for that.
Yep.
But
Smart.
Here, okay.
Big, juicy, smooth brain at work here.
That little worm rattle around.
It just rattles around in my head.
He can
and
lead
I'm
you
just,
to it. He can lead you through it.
If he can lead you to it, he can lead you through it.
Okay, so I woke up early before my father, which is strange. And I was like, if I'm going to stay awake, the podcast is not going to be a good time. Miss Virgo needs her nap.
Yeah, I was wondering why you were up at 10 a.m.
The fact that that's early, first of all.
First of all, it is early. This Miss Ma'am sleeps until 4.
I just call it having my own sleep schedule.
You know what? You do what you need to do.
I
I have a topic later that will relate back to this anyway, so go ahead.
Okay, so I was taking a Miss nap, and I've already told you about how vivid my dreams are.
Yeah. And you have a good memory, too, so I feel like that's connected.
So I was having a dream. I was with my mother and my brother. No, I wasn't with them.
I've been waiting to hear this story.
I have a dream that I was texting my brother.
Mm-hmm.
That my mother was mad at me. And very much my attitude in my dream is still the attitude I had in real life, and it was why would I give a fuck about this?
That's very true.
And he told me this story that I can relate to you because I remember every fucking detail, because in the dream I was
Because you're a Virgo.
I was like, I don't care about this story. And Isaac told me, wait for it. And I was like, I don't care. So the story was, there was Ked and there was Sam. Sam loved to hang out with his friends. Ked was a workaholic. And then, turns out at the end, Ked and Sam were the same person. And Isaac goes, wait for it. And then Mom looked at me and goes, I don't want to be Ked anymore.
Wait, Ked is... What?
Girl, I said it was a dream. I never said it was going to make sense.
Why?
Ked and Sam.
Which one was Ked? Ked is the one who is a workaholic?
Yes.
When has your mom ever... We
Girl.
can't get into this. We can't get into this. Anyway, my topic that relayed back to that was, I do not think it's a bad thing to be lazy. And here's why. Out of all the things that you could be in the world, because I don't like working or working hard, I'm a terrible person. You know that Nicki Minaj TikTok sound that's like, I hate lazy people. Barb, stay in school. I feel the opposite way. Do what you want. This, as much as like, yeah, you gotta make sure you have your basic needs in life. Why do we have this culture where we have to work so hard all the damn time?
It's because first of all, we live in a capitalist society. Second of all, I feel like I or you are going to find some way to turn this into traditionalism, in our opinion of that. However, I don't think you're lazy. And I say this because, bitch, not a dish in that sink.
First of all, I am society's definition of lazy. Let me break this down for our lovely listeners who I'm going to make this clear too. We are not doing this podcast for views. We are doing this podcast because
we're funny.
We think we're hilarious. And we're like, let's test it out. You know? Whatever. So if you're enjoying this, just know we will talk back if you comment. I love nothing more than people commenting on my content because I have a TikTok, and let me tell you, when I pop into that little clock app, that little clickety clock back,
girl,
and I get comments, I'm so excited.
Girl, I found my first TikTok mutual.
I have some TikTok mutuals too, and I adore them.
His name is Luis.
Come through, Luis. Luis, if you're watching. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. You don't think I'm lazy. Here's the thing. I am society's definition of lazy. I don't have a job because I'm engaged to a man who works quite a bit. So if I had a job, we would never see each other. So it just works out. He supports the both of us. It's great. We're going to get married next year. It's a great thing.
Girl, and the fact...
Most people in society would just be like, you're unemployed, you're not doing anything.
See, I think it's the most feminist thing ever to be a housewife, if that is your choice. And it's your choice.
And don't get me wrong, I am not boo-hooing about how society talks about housewives, because this is the most privileged position I could be in. Is to not have to work and to have someone take care of me. I recognize that not a lot of people can do that, and I sure did not think I was going to be able to.
This is the fucking life for you.
It truly is.
This is great.
I'm not popping, we're not rich, whatever, you know. We have a nice house. We have, you know, clothes on our back, good food to eat. And I really don't need more. And I feel like society's whole pressure of don't be lazy comes from a materialistic view sometimes. Is that you always need to earn more, you always need to be more, you always need to do more. For what? For what? You think that, like, this is gonna even matter when you're, you know, I know a lot of people say this. This isn't gonna matter when you're, like, dying.
That inheritance check, though.
Yeah, that's gonna be great for the people who come after you, but what does that have to do with you?
Oh, fucking facts. Like, I thought about it. Not that I want my father to die, but if he died today, I don't know how much of that money I'm gonna see because he's got so much debt. So much.
You know what?
Loans, credit cards, babe.
If
works.
my mom passes, which, you know, wouldn't be necessarily a surprise. She is not the safest person in the world. She hangs with a rough crowd sometimes. We'll just say that.
She's got a little bit of choices going on.
A little bit of choices. She's a great person. Great mom. She was a decent mom.
You don't gotta butter up nothing, babe.
But, you know, she was real rough. Hanging out with a lot of rough people. And that does something to you. It leaves a little mark.
Girl, you good?
I'm not going to say anything else about my mom. I'm going to leave it there.
Anyway, I'm very happy that you're a housewife because, you're never busy.
No, and
Speaking of capitalism.
I told her to put her phone on Do Not Disturb because I knew that this was going to happen.
No, Jeffrey Bezos came for me.
I just about sang the song, but I'm really trying not to get copyrighted. Anyway, another topic that I wanted to talk about. We're going to give this 5 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am, walking down the street. Miss Gabbie Hanna.
She fucking walked.
She strutted down that runway. She was working it.
She said, I'm on my phone, I got my purse, I got my hood up, I don't want to talk to you, I'm going to work, I don't want to make any sort of contact, I got children to
Girl
feed
boss,
and
gatekeep, and gaslight. That's all we have to say.
Anyway, Gabbie Hanna.
You go ahead. You go ahead. Because I know I'm going to have plenty to say.
See, my opinion on Gabbie Hanna is that there is so much unchecked mental illness that I feel like needs to be checked, and she's saying that she's checking it. I don't believe for a second that any of that mental illness is checked.
If you write an entire song, and I was saying this earlier, if you write an entire song saying, am I the monster? Am I the bad person? And then when people actually tell you that you're doing something that is hurting them and you immediately deny it, why are you even questioning it if you're just going to not care as soon as someone tells you, yeah, you're kind of the monster in this situation?
Yeah, because I feel like the state of the internet, of course, as soon as somebody does something wrong and they apologize, always they're going to be in the wrong. Because, admittedly, a lot of influencers can't give their apology without losing a chunk of their fan base. But I feel like it would literally do nobody wrong for her to be like, yeah, I fucked up, I did this, that, and the next thing, I really regret it, it was a lot of years ago, and I'm working past it.
Well, that's a part of life, too, is that you're not... As a human, you're not going to be able to go through life without doing something shitty and having to apologize for it, and you're just in the wrong. And that person doesn't have to forgive you, and you're just going to be in the wrong. And that's how life is. You don't always have to be forgiven or all that shit. But as far as, her mental illness goes, you know, a lot of people in this country and in this world have mental illness, and they don't have to sit down and record a 12-part series defending themselves when someone complains about how they acted. And not to mention, no one's even talking about, well, I heard it from, what's his name, Adam McIntyre? He said that the podcast she uploaded last summer calling Jesse a narcissistic abuser was the same day as the phone call. Which is so insane to me, because you just heard this woman describe in every single way how you have made this situation bigger than what it needed to be, and that she's allowed to speak her truth, and that you really did hurt her, and you heard out her, abuser.
Well, I feel like this problem could have just died. I really feel like it could have. I feel like even if Gabbie refused and fucking doubled down on it and it's like, I didn't do anything wrong, I feel like this problem could have been dead and gone, dead in the dirt, if she just stopped replying to the people that were hating on her.
Truly, because she expects that in some sort of way the internet is just going to completely stop, and even if it was a false narrative, you're not going to stop the internet. You are not. Guess what? If you leave a hate comment on this podcast, do you think I'm going to sit there and respond to it? I'm interested in talking to the people who want to talk to me, first of all.
Girl, I love getting hate comments. I don't love them. I don't want them. But
yeah, don't say that, because then someone's going to be like, oh yeah.
But when I get them, dude, immediate comedy. I
will
never
funny.
laugh harder.
It is funny, and I understand how you can get your feelings hurt, especially when someone is accusing you of such a bad thing that she's being accused of, but just the 12-part series isn't necessary, and also just what do you think is going to happen? What do you want out of this? You really expect that Jesse is going to give you an apology? And the reason that Gabbie started this whole thing up and started responding and getting angry on the internet is because Jesse, after her Gabbie Hanna needs to be stopped video, I don't know how much longer later, put up a video where Gabbie's name was in the thumbnail. And that's enough for you to start this up again? You're the one being accused of being, an R-word apologist.
A magnitude ego.
Magnitude. Because someone mentioned you in a thumbnail? Here's my thing. People are allowed to talk about you. If anyone who knows me sees this podcast, hey. First of all, hello. Second of all, you're allowed to talk about me.
I don't care enough.
And I do agree that Gabbie is allowed to respond, but don't expect that this response is going to work out the way you thought it would.
Girl, to Gabbie's credit, I understand the feeling of somebody you don't like and you don't respect walked into the room, and they come to you trying to explain their side of the story. I understand maybe in the off chance
you do want to feed your ego and be like, you want to catch him in something. You want to embarrass him. You want to feed your ego. I completely understand that. We all do it.
But that could also be her trying to not seem like a fucking insane person. I don't know if I can say that. Does that mean?
I wouldn't call her insane because,
Huge ego. I take back the insane part. But I feel like that could be an excuse to her freezing up, because I would have frozen and be like, why are you talking to me? And I don't want to start this huge controversy. And
you're talking about the situation with Curtis, where
Curtis,
she was giving him out?
If she sees Curtis and freaks out internally, and he just starts talking and talking and talking, that's a lot harder to explain rather than I wanted to catch him in a lie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Being like... And then when Jessie gets upset about it, she immediately goes, I thought you knew. Why would you say that when someone's just started having a breakdown because they found out you were talking to their R-word? Who knows if this will get monetized on YouTube? Probably not.
Not this early.
Not this early anyway, so I'll say whatever I want. But I do understand. That's the thing is I can understand why Gabbie did this thing she did. That doesn't make it right. No. I can understand the headspace you were in, but that sure doesn't make it right, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't vehemently apologize to Jessie Smiles and also allow Jessie to speak whatever she wants to speak.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody else can not speak, but Gabbie can say whatever she wants.
She got mad because Jessie was liking subtweets or liking tweets about her and making subtweets about her. Are you serious?
The ego. And
okay, I get that it's immature to like make subtweets or whatever, but it's just as immature to be like, I know that was about me. You're not any better because you are addressing the subtweets.
Yeah, it doesn't make it any better that you made a 12-part series.
And now she's not uploading, and she said she was going to upload it every day. So I'm just like, what is she even doing? You were so confident, and now you're realizing that this isn't...
First of all, the quality of those videos suck ass. You're telling me
why would you include a vlog?
You tell me it's a 55-minute video and I have to fucking trudge through 30 minutes of your stupid ass diet just to hear you not even apologize to a rape victim, but to be like, oh, I'm not wrong.
You don't think it's a little much to upload your vlog before talking about a serious situation where you're going to be bringing up someone's trauma or the young woman who got murdered? Like, you don't think that that's a little off to go vlog your day? Here's my diet. Here's the things I've been thinking about. Here's stuff about my ADHD. And then here's all this information. And it's like,
it's so off color.
It just is. It just is. Listen, if we had a serious situation that we need to talk about, and trust me, guys, if I say something wrong on this podcast, if I misspeak in any way, say something in the comments. Obviously, if it's a hate comment, I won't respond. But if you're genuinely critiquing me, girl, I'll admit I was wrong. I have no problem with that. I'm not.
Yeah, I could. If, like, my insane comment, I didn't know if that was offensive to anybody who might see.
I don't like to. The thing is like, I don't like to call people insane because that's just such an extreme scale.
Okay, yeah.
Especially when you're talking about I could use it as like, oh my gosh, this dessert was insane or something. But like, I guess calling a person who is going through mental health issues insane, I wouldn't do.
See, educated.
It's as easy as that.
But I'm neurotypical.
We got 1 minute. We got 1 minute before we got to wrap this Gabbie Hanna thing up.
Listen, I'm neurotypical. I don't have many mental illnesses that I know about, but I'm learning, and that's all you can fucking ask of me.
Yeah, we're just humans learning every day, so it's really not that deep that you gotta, No,
girl, once you get on the internet, once you post something on the internet, you have to stay that person. If you deviate from that person... And
she brings up the point, well, everyone liked me when I was a bad person. You think this is showing an improvement on the internet?
And nobody liked you before either, bitch.
Yeah, you were surrounded by controversy before. And here's a fun fact. I was a Gabbie Hanna fan. And then the things about Jessie came out, and I was like, okay.
Do you own
And then she started... No, I did own Dandelion, but I gave it away to Goodwill because it actually really was not good. I am not educated in literature, and I didn't get it. It came off like trying to be like witty and like taking these phrases that people say every day and putting a play on words on them, but it just didn't work.
This is going to turn to another Angelica situation.
I just burped anyway. We're going to have to cut this anyway.
We're going to take a break.
We're going to take a little break. Maybe cut out that burp. Maybe not.
We'll see what I can do in iMovie.
A little gift for you guys. A little break.
All right.
Welcome back to Plan Z.
Girl.
We probably already gotten 1 or 2 controversies, but just know we are very sorry and we will be making an apology video. We'll need to get white button-down shirts off Amazon. Some good lighting.
We'll be crying, and we will mention that it's 3 a.m. and that nobody's awake.
It's 3 a.m. Nobody's awake.
I was wondering if people were going to get on me about how I hold my cup. I just don't want the metal straw to clink around. By the way, that's going to be my controversy.
If you come in the comments talking about how she holds her cup, we're going to war. And we'll make a whole we will make a 12-part series dedicated to you. And we
will go through the comments and be like, fucking... Pussy Pounder 420 said this.
All right. I know we thought we were done with Gabbie Hanna, but I did hear the entire 3-hour phone call in preparation for this podcast because I was not going to come in here and miss a detail from the phone call and not know what I was talking about. So yes, I did listen to the 3-hour phone call. It was actually a nightmare. Don't worry, I listened to it while I was playing Sims. Let me get my little iPad out of the way. I listened to it while I was playing Sims because that was the only way that I could really sit through that. And it was, let me tell you, I don't understand why she uploaded that because it didn't make her look good. Anytime Jessie would bring up a point, she'd be like, well, then we're just not going to agree. And we're just not going to agree, so let's move on. No, ma'am.
Girl, this is why I appreciate our friendship, because we agree on a lot, different attitudes to everything that we've ever talked about.
What's your attitude about it? I want to know.
Love and peace for everybody. Legalize love for everybody. Legalize.
Do you ever hear a lie? Do you ever just hear a lie and know that it's immediately a lie? First of all, sure. Second of all, are you a Libra or are you a Virgo? Because you're acting very fake right now, and that's Libra behavior. She's not peace and love. She's not as mean as I am. That's for sure. I'm gonna be a little harsh, and I'll just warn our listeners now. I am a little harsh, and I have trouble with empathy sometimes, but I'm working on it.
Girl.
And this is going to be a learning experience for all of us, and I'm going to make mistakes, and it'll be fine.
Are you an Aquarius or are you a Sagittarius? Downplaying?
Oh, we haven't talked about what sign I am yet. Ooh, you know what? Let's just get it over with. Let's just get the astrology. We had topics that we were going to talk about, but let's just get the astrology part over with. I am an Aquarius sun, a Capricorn moon, and a Gemini rising. So basically, I was doomed from the start. I was doomed. I'm pretty sure there's another celebrity with the same big three as me, and I want to say it's Kid Cudi. So, Kid Cudi, if you're listening, just know I feel your pain. Go ahead.
Talk about you don't know empathy. Talk about Kid Cudi. I understand. I am...
She came for me, jeez.
I am a Virgo sun, an Aquarius moon, and a Leo rising.
And let me tell you that Leo rising does not rest one day, folks. It does not rest one day.
Girl, any screen pointed near me, I'm...
But that's okay, because I do that too.
I feel like my Leo rising shows everywhere except for my TikTok. Because my Leo rising is purely the playground for you to laugh in.
By the way, we will be promoting these on our TikToks because you have a little bit of a following. Some of my videos do pretty well. So I'm sure we'll take a couple clips from this.
Dry fingertips.
And moldy cheese slice, baby.
We had a conversation about how exactly these usernames reflect us personally. Because dry fingertips, a little inconvenient.
A little inconvenient. Moldy cheese slice. If you have a moldy cheese slice in your fridge, you're going to know it's there.
Listen.
You're going to know. It's going to scream and shout at you. And it's going to ruin the smell of your fridge for days.
Girl, I love dry fingertips because it's like, you're okay with it, and then you're immediately embarrassed when somebody points it out.
Yeah, and someone did point it out on your TikTok, and I thought it was the most hilarious thing ever because I've been waiting for it.
I don't like when people bring it up, babe. I'm happy with my body.
I'm okay embracing it, except when you bring it up. I'm okay embracing it, except when you bring it up, and then you are hateful, you're a hater.
And this is why we go so well together, because when there is a moldy cheese slice in my fridge, I leave it to ruin the next person's day.
But I'm all peace and love. You know what? We're both liars today. We're both liars.
Anyway, I wanted to bring up some topics. I wanted to bring up the controversial, very much we're going to get in trouble for this, self-diagnosing on TikTok.
First of all, I can understand if you can't afford a therapist. Been there.
Living that life.
Living that life. Therapy is very expensive.
Here's my thing. I am a human being with flaws as a person because that's what it means to be human.
But if you forget something, you have ADHD, god damn it.
Okay, I don't appreciate 14-year-olds diagnosing me with ADHD on TikTok.
Yeah, and that's why
I really don't.
That's why I appreciate people like Dr. Ina. I don't know if any of you follow her on TikTok, but she is great. She calls out a lot of that psychology bullshit that people like to put on TikTok, which, don't get me wrong, I get trapped in that sometimes too. I'm like, oh, how fun. I'm a psychopath because I have dark hair, like, you know, but like, she really calls it out.
Your mental illness is borderline personality disorder. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Literally, they go so hard and it's like, okay.
Like, yeah, I'm a busy person when my life gets that way, and I am multitasking, and I do forget some things because I'm fucking busy. I don't think any of that is meaning that I have ADHD.
If you are not a mental health professional, you probably shouldn't be making any content trying to get people to diagnose themselves or to go get a diagnosis for something. Listen, it's not a good idea.
I love the people out there that are like, we have made products, because what's coming to mind is like the planner that's made for people with ADHD, like specifically designed. That makes sense because now you're making something that's more accessible.
But if you're going on there and reading from a Google article and then being like, these are the signs that you have this or this,
because it's not black and white. Probably not good. It is not black and white. And I don't like it when people are like, oh, you forgot what you were thinking when you walked into a different room. You must have ADHD. Like, ADHD is not so black and white.
No.
There's symptoms for a reason. And that's why
people really think that these therapists and psychologists and scientists don't go to school for years to understand this stuff.
For a 14-year-old to go on TikTok and say that all Virgos are this, that, and the next thing, girl, what? Listen, if you don't have the resources, and this is what else I wanted to bring up, if you don't have the resources to be able to go out and get a diagnosis, do the research.
Yeah, do the research. Maybe don't spread it around and think that you're the source.
If you sincerely believe that you have mental illness and you do the research and you can't afford a formal diagnosis, I believe in every right to be able to make your life as comfortable for yourself. I don't think you should make it harder for yourself.
Yes.
But
that is completely different.
That's a different thing
than going on TikTok and making content about it. Probably shouldn't do that.
Like,
you are not educated on it.
Girl,
do not give people the symptoms of a mental illness, because symptoms are like literally one part of it.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is that I read a book called The New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, and he said that, you know, mental illnesses, as he describes them, are just extreme forms of human behavior. And so, like, yeah, you're going to have you're going to be able to check off some of the things on the symptom list, because humans do that.
Yeah. I feel like if you're having a set of things that really interferes with the way that you live and interferes with the resources other people are giving you, do the research. Because it's not, if you pick up a lot of hobbies but don't do any of them, you have ADHD. And I know I'm picking on ADHD a lot, but I feel like that's what I see a lot on TikTok.
Well, first of all, we just talked a lot about Miss, like, Queen.
Yeah, that's probably a lot what's going on.
Oh my gosh. All the symptoms and stuff about ADHD on the screen during that series was a lot. And I know she said that it was because what if people, you know, don't realize that they have ADHD and that could help them.
I think it's just really harmful to those.
No, that's not the reason, because how would anyone understand that that's the reason you're putting it on screen? Putting that on screen implies that that's the reason you've been acting this way. When you're talking about a situation and then you put symptoms of ADHD on the screen, what do you think you're putting out there?
I just don't think that mental illness, maybe I'm speaking out of turn as somebody who's neurotypical, but it's not so much if you have this, then you have this mental illness. It's not A and B. And to say that it's black and white, if you have this one symptom, you have this one mental illness, it kind of puts a gray area on what the mental illness is and washes it out, because mental illness is serious and it should be taken care of, you know?
Yes. And it's very complicated. It is
People go to school for literal years for this.
deeply complicated, and you cannot understand it through a few hours of research and then try to explain it to other people. You can do that for yourself and use the resources you have to better your life, but when you're making it into content, you're probably not bettering the lives of other people. But I will say, the people who are educated and do make content about it,
girl, I'll watch it all day.
I'll watch it all day, but why is it not as consumed as these hot, like, buzz pieces about it? Like, okay, you're interested in the facts until they're actual facts by someone who knows what they're talking about.
I do sincerely believe that if you feel like you have an inkling towards you thinking you might have a mental illness, go do the research and make your life as easy as it is. But going out and making hit pieces on TikTok about it, we're washing out what it could and could not be. Anyway, that was my opinion on self-diagnoses.
Fun opinion on self-diagnoses, as well as it can be good for you, I'm sure, to try to understand your behavior and yourself and maybe some things that are causing distress in your life. Make sure you're not dragging down other people.
Yeah, I don't feel neurodivergent. And to go on TikTok and for 12-year-olds to tell me that just because I might have put on my soccer on today, that I have this severe mental illness that is very complicated.
Do you like wearing the color gray? If so, you have severe depression. All right, man.
It is not so easy to define. And that's, girl, if you want to go on Google or find some Google Scholar about it, go do it, because it's probably going to do you better than being on TikTok and letting 12-year-olds tell you what you need to tell you. That's my hit piece on that.
There you go.
Take care of yourself.
Madison very much was excited about that.
Girl, it's annoyed me a lot recently. Go help yourself.
Go off.
Go help yourself. Do the research that you need to go find to help yourself, and then live a happy, good life. If you're happy, girl, peace and love.
And I heard Jenna Marble say this once. The general rule of psychology is do no harm. That's the general... Come on, Miss Marbles. We miss you so much. We're holding it up over here for you. All right. Little topic for me. Don't look.
I'm not okay.
It's so private.
I'm so quirky.
I started this at the beginning of the year. And it is a little thing in my notes.
Oh, I thought this was like years in the making. Okay.
Oh, no. This has been only 6 months.
Okay.
It's a little note in my notes app called Thoughts That I Can't Keep in My Head. And these usually... I'm going to close it so Madison doesn't get distracted. These usually... Because they're good. They're good. They're real good. These usually come around when Madison's busy. She's... our sleep schedules are a little different. So she may be asleep. I may be awake. And I can't tell her the absolute garbage trash that comes through my head that nobody needs to hear. So, lovely listeners, you're going to hear some of it today. And I'm not reading all of them because some of them do not need to be seen by the internet.
I will say I did see a little clip of just Harry Styles. And I was like, girl, this ain't going to be good.
Ooh, there's a lot of Harry Potter ones, Marvel Universe, Harry Styles. I'm a total fangirl, so there's a whole lot of that.
Oh, who wrote Harry Potter?
J.K. Rowling doesn't exist anymore. When she made those stupid-ass tweets, she Thanos'd herself into irrelevance. That's one of the first ones. There you go.
I heard that Archaeologists. I could not fucking put my mouth to do that. Archaeologists. I heard they were uncovering Babylonia, and they found those on golden leaves. And that's how we transcribe Harry Potter. That's my theory, at least.
Exactly.
I saw it on an Instagram pop tweet.
Yeah, it's like the Bible. We just don't know where it came from. Here's another one. I think if Jim Bob Duggar and I had a bare knuckles boxing match, I would win. Also Bryce Hall, in parentheses. I would win!
No,
I would win.
No, you would.
I would win.
I don't doubt your fighting ability.
Bare knuckles.
I'm just wondering because... people's names come up, like Bryce Hall. You could put a lineup of men in front of me. I will not be able to point them out. Is that me being uncultured and not on TikTok enough?
Maybe. But, that's probably a good thing at this point. So what Harry Styles one did you see? I'm trying to find it. No. Okay. Nope. I have one. I know exactly where it is.
Harry Styles.
Yep. Do you think Harry Styles sounds the same in real life? Because I've only technically heard him over the phone or like over a speaker. So I've never technically heard him in like just from his mouth to my ears.
I think that's true of everybody.
So I want to know what Harry Styles really sounds like. Harry, if you ever want to come on the podcast, just let us know.
Also, not at all related, I want to be on the H2 podcast so bad.
Oh, Ethan, I will come on there, and I have so much to say to you. That sounded confrontational. I'm not trying to go on there and fight. I just truly, when Frenemies ended, I'm like, okay, so the only way I'm going to be happy with the show again is if I'm literally the new co-host. I just want to go.
You pack up and move to LA.
Hey.
Are they in Hollywood? I don't know the difference.
I have no idea.
We're from the Midwest.
We are from the Midwest. Nothing happens here.
We could tell you all these weird... Girl. I had a dream that they changed the name of our county. And I got mad about it. Like, I was pissed.
We can't talk about that.
No, I'm not going to mention the name of it, but, like, I had a dream that they changed it and I got mad.
Yeah, I would be mad, too. So, another one is... People who say go with the flow are the most neurotic motherfuckers you will ever meet. They just say it to remind themselves. If you say, just go with the flow, you're about to have a temper tantrum as soon as anything goes wrong.
Girl, just talk about cancers already.
I have one. Cancer sons all kind of look like koalas. They do. If you have a Cancer son, you probably kind of look like a koala.
Oh, while you're looking for your next one, I wanted to bring up something else
That's probably good on that.
Okay. Girl.
Alright.
I wanted to bring this up because I'm a Virgo, and when I have information, I don't want it to be presented twice. And here's what I mean by this. My significant other recently left to go do his own thing. Love, peace and love to him.
Peace and love.
A month and a half. He's gonna come back, whatever. So, I know when he's leaving, where he's going, what he's doing there. As, like, a baseline, why the fuck are people texting me, hey, is your boyfriend doing this? I just saw him at the airport. Bitch, I fucking...
Like...
We both know the two of you are going to go do the same thing. If you see him at this airport going to a specific location, put two and two together, it's not...
What, do they think they're, like, telling you gossip or something?
I guess.
They're about to watch this podcast and be like, I'm never speaking to her again. She's so rude.
Good.
Oh. Another topic. Oh, we haven't even talked about the open psychometrics test.
Okay.
This is not, like, this is just for funsies. Something we saw on TikTok that you take a test and it tells you, what, like, movie and TV show characters you're most like. So I took it.
Just for like an introduction on people to know who we are as people.
Yeah, just as an introduction to know who we are as people. So I took it and I made Madison take it, and I'll let Madison go ahead.
First and foremost, at 81%, Jennifer Giroux from Criminal Minds.
First of all,
never seen Criminal Minds, so I know that you love Criminal Minds. So I want you to go off about who Jennifer Giroux is.
Jennifer Giroux is like... Here's the thing, I haven't seen all of Criminal Minds either, so, like, if a Criminal Minds stan comes in the comments and is talking about something I missed, probably sorry about it.
Peace and love to the Criminal Minds stans.
Peace and love to the Criminal Minds stans. But Jennifer Giroux is, I think she starts out as a press person for the BAU.
Oh, a liaison, I remember that.
Yeah, a press liaison, and then she becomes a detective because she's just smart and ambitious. She has, like, a really close... She's like the girl next door friend, you know? She's not, like, dumb or anything. She's just kind of, like, the basic character who's very supportive of everyone. Like, she's not, like, a Penelope Garcia where she's quirky and fun, and she doesn't really, you know, as far as I know, have any, like, special quirks about her. She's just, honestly, a really good support character in the show.
I don't mind being a support character.
I'm not saying that to like...
No, definitely not.
She's just like literally a good, loyal friend and very smart and very hardworking.
Thank you for listing off every Hufflepuff quality.
By the way, she is a Hufflepuff and I am a Slytherin. Girl, if you couldn't tell.
Unlikely, but destined friendship. Then, let's see, down the list, we got 77% Derek Shepherd from Grey's Anatomy. Have you ever seen Grey's Anatomy?
I have not.
Very much, Casanova. Very much extremely intelligent, almost Slytherin-like. I would classify him as a Slytherin.
Maybe I didn't describe Jennifer Jarreau well, because I feel like that's totally different.
Oh, but he's very caring. But yeah, I got not one, but
I feel like JJ. First of all, there is a scene where JJ is a total badass, and this killer has a gun, and they're in a fight, and she unloads the gun in the middle of the fight, and it's so badass. So don't get me wrong, JJ is a total badass in episodes. She's very cool.
Well, good, because she's in my number one match. I got not one. Oh, 77% Derek Morgan.
Hey, baby girl. I'm just in a silly, goofy mood. That's him.
Mood. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the actor.
No, really?
Yes, Shamar Moore. I'm pretty sure it's a Instagram video or something where he's like, I'm sorry, I'm just in a silly, goofy mood.
I love that for him and me. I got not one but two characters from Sailor Moon, and I'm fucking well aware that you've never seen Sailor Moon.
I'm so sorry. I just got into Studio Ghibli, and I've cried at every single Studio Ghibli movie that this one has showed me.
However, 77% Sailor Mars, and she's like the hothead, very much, don't fucking bullshit, we're doing this mission.
You can be not a hothead, but you're not, like, nurturing. Like, you can be comforting, but you're not going to be like, oh, are you okay? Oh, let's take care of you. You're not that girl.
If we're in the middle of something, like, if we've got a task to get done, I don't give a fuck how you're feeling. We'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
That's just me being a Virgo.
Truly.
And then, she's, like, the fire character.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 76%, we got Sailor Venus. She's very much... She was the one that was a sailor before everybody else, and she made a living being a superhero.
So you're just super ambitious.
I love that for me. Also, Nala from Lion King, never seen it.
You're just like a good friend and super ambitious. That's what it is. You've never seen The Lion King?
No.
It's a good movie. You should definitely like watch it.
I listened to the
watch
soundtrack because Elton John.
Oh my god, don't get me started. She is obsessed with Elton John and I am obsessed with Freddie Mercury. This friendship was literally destined.
We just need somebody with David Bowie. I think I can be obsessed with David Bowie.
If you would like to be our David Bowie friend, reach out.
Girl, get on the podcast. Get on the podcast.
Honestly, if you're cool in the comments, shit, follow me on TikTok. We'll become mutuals, and I don't care. There was one time a girl added me on TikTok, and she accidentally sent me a TikTok, and I said, fuck it, and I started sending her TikToks back, because I'm down to clown always.
I love clowning. And then last but not least, where was it? Ginny Weasley.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense, because Ginny's, like, a total badass who gets on the Quidditch team, and literally, like, does just as good as Harry.
Girl, unsung hero.
She's just not a seeker, which is rare. She was a catcher or something.
I love that. Supporting cast. Literally, all I'm getting is supporting cast.
Moving on to mine.
Girl, okay.
My 84 top one, number 1% match. Number 1%? What? My number one match is Beth Harmon from The Queen's Gambit.
Have you seen it?
I watched Trixie and Katya react to it, so I get the gist.
Girl, that's not the same thing.
But I do need to watch it. I do know that she is just, like, keeps it moving. I remember the scene where her, like, mom or mother figure dies, and she's just like...
Time to get addicted to pills.
Yep, gonna drink away my pain, but still gonna be cool. It's fine.
I would argue Queen's Gambit, one of the best shows... One of the best Netflix originals to come out. It is so cinematic.
I feel so honored that I am, like, the main character of that.
Dude, you know that scene from Legally Blonde where she's like, where some dude's like, you got into Harvard? And she's like, what? Like, it's hard?
Oh.
That is Beth Harmon. She'll, like, because her whole thing is that she's, like, obviously a chess champion.
What, like I'm not a pig flop?
I wouldn't say that's Beth's personality, but she's very much like, and one of the first scenes, the first competition she goes to, she's unranked. And she goes in, she's like, I want to do a chess competition, and they're like, oh, but you're unranked. You have to play these ranking matches so that you might be able to do something about your life.
Just give me the chess board.
And she's literally like, well, how long does that take? Because I'm here right now to do this goddamn chess competition. Literally the whole, and I love this, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but she's with a love interest, and he's like more into chess than she is, because she's just naturally amazing at it. They bone, and they're cuddling after, and he starts talking about chess. And she goes, seriously? He goes, yeah, we can do this, that, and the next thing with chess. And she goes, you talking about this now? She gets up, she walks away.
That's how I would feel. I'd be like, we're not... Oops. Do you think this is like a chess friendship? Like, what is... I would feel so betrayed. I'd be like, okay, that'd be like hanging out with your coworker and then only talking about work. Like, I don't think if you would like hang out with your coworker, you would sit there and be like, oh yeah, this happened at work and this and this and this.
Listen, as somebody who has party with my coworkers, it's pretty much what it is. I mean, kind of. One of them was leaving school because he graduated.
I feel like you talk about work, but you don't talk about like the important stuff. It's like gossip. That would be like talking about what needs stocked the next day.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like that. Yeah. That's what I mean.
Okay, yeah. But like, I had to be very careful of what I said because there's this manager that everyone... It's a very dichotomous relationship of, like, most people hate her, but a lot of people like her. And I had to fucking watch what I said, because I was about to say some mean shit. Especially in that situation, I was going to say some shit. But just go on about your list.
Okay. Number 2, at 83%, is Sherlock Holmes.
So
I'm the witty asshole who's smart.
Literally, both characters, no emotion. I would argue both of them are kind of
I have, okay, here's the thing. I have no emotion until I do have emotion. And then
it all comes out.
It all comes out. Until you show me a Studio Ghibli movie, and then I'm like, it was so beautiful. And it's a lot.
You seeing this baby across the street?
Yeah. They're watching it. Welcome to Plan Z, where people watch us because, again, we're in the Midwest, and this is weird because everyone's stuck in 2015. You thought I was lying. I'm not.
That women's shorts are pretty cute, though.
So...
Anyway.
Have you watched Parasite?
No.
Oh.
Kim Ki-jung?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, Jessie from Pokemon?
I don't know who that is.
She... You know, just the
is it Team Rocket?
Team Rocket, Jessie and James. She has the red hair. Girl. Femme fatale.
Oh my god. Wow, I love myself. After that, Mystique from X-Men. Who am I? Wow.
Talk about an ego boost. I love Mystique.
Yeah, I think I only got this because I'm like sarcastically funny and also an asshole who shows no emotion. Below that, number 10, Dr. Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park. That's the one with dark hair who's like, have you ever seen Jurassic Park?
Mm-mm. Okay. I've seen Jurassic World.
Yeah, I think he's the one at the beginning who's like, he's in the courtroom testifying. Saying like, we started something, we need to end it or something like that. I forget the exact words.
Remember. You can remember for both of us.
Have you watched Chilling Adventures of Sabrina?
Which one? Prudence? I'm familiar with it. Is she? Let's do some research. Prudence?
Yeah, that's true. Also, April Ludgate from Parks and Recreation. I just show no emotion. That's what it is.
Oh, this bitch.
Ooh, I like being her.
Prudence.
Ooh.
I think Prudence starts off as an antagonist. And when she transitions to protagonisthood, never loses the bitchiness. Ever.
God, I love that. God, I also got Alex Voss from Orange is the New Black.
Targeted.
Why?
Because everybody with black curly hair looks the same. I love Alex, though.
I wish I was
these are all
better
bitchy
eyeliner.
Characters. Not to call you bitch.
Also, Loki, so...
Are you caught up with Loki?
That is a flex. No, I'm not, because Can I talk about something? I when I love a character so much, sometimes it's hard for me to, like, watch them because I'm just, again, I'm so uncomfortable with emotion and I get too fucking happy. And I'm like, I just love them. Like, they're so cool and I just want to be their friend and they're not here.
I don't know if you would like Loki then because it's a lot of emotion.
I know. I knew it was going to be.
But episode 1, shirtless Tom Hiddleston. Episode 3, confirmed bisexual Loki.
Listen, I've already seen those scenes. Don't act like I'm not gonna. If you tell me that there will be a shirtless Tom Hiddleston in a show, I might not watch this show, but I'm sure as damn well gonna see that scene.
Girl, I was catching up on it this morning because I'd only seen episode 1, and at this time, episode 5 came out. Girl, I was, like, watching, and I went back to episode 1 just to pause on that frame of him just shirtless. He's ugly.
I saw the one, oh man, this is how far I am on Loki TikTok. I saw the one scene where he's, like, kneeling in front of the girl, and he's like, I didn't mean to cut your hair, I'm sorry, it was a joke, but it wasn't funny, and I was like, we're not going to talk about what that brought out in me.
I love it when men kneel in front of me.
Anyway, what else did we have to talk about? We cannot touch for whatever reason. Again, this is an air and an earth moon.
Listen, as a Leo Venus, I love physical contact. I love to touch and to be touched, appropriately and consensually, obviously.
Yeah.
My skin feels like it's on fire when I touch you.
I can't touch you. I just can't do it. Like, one time we sat under a blanket together, not touching, but, like, just sitting under a blanket, and I was like...
It was gross. It was
I just can't do it. Like, you're just... I feel like it's because...
We're so emotionally open, we can't be physically open either.
Yeah. We truly know... I know a lot about you. I cannot help but keep some secrets. That is my life. I'm very sorry, but there are secrets that I haven't told anybody. So it's not that I haven't told you, it's that I will never speak them.
Yeah. Which I appreciate. Fine. But, girl.
And that makes fun fact. By the way, my sister is a very big supporter of this podcast. She has been telling me to make a podcast for a long time. So this one is for you. She hates that I don't tell her my secrets. She absolutely hates it. The other day, we were on FaceTime. And she walked away, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to hang up. And then I was like, but I need to make this an opportunity. You know? I need to make it an opportunity for a laugh, a goof, and a gaff. So she comes back, and I'm like, I go, hey, Heaven, I have to tell you a secret. And she goes, oh my God, what? I said her name. Sorry, but I'll at least name you Heaven. She goes, oh my God, what? And I just hang up the phone. And she calls me back. I start crying, laughing instantly because it's just the most diabolical thing I could do to her.
That's fucking rude. First of all, rude. Second of all, I feel like you've done that to me.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think something to that fucking rude effect that's hung up on me.
But it was so funny. I just started crying, laughing because I knew she was so into it and she wanted to hear my secrets because we had just talked the other day about how she, like, just wants to know and I won't tell her. And she called me back and was just like, why'd you... I'm
doing her little screams.
There's not even a secret, is there? Of course there's not a secret. Of course there isn't. Of course there isn't. Why would you think that I would even... What did she think I was going to tell her?
I can't even think of something. It would be like, oh, Madison had sex with somebody crazy, but no. Not here in this Midwest town.
Yeah, not in this Midwest town.
Also,
you have...
Not as much as I am.
Boyfriend.
Yeah, I know.
So, like...
I said that's so disappointing. I didn't mean it. Yeah, I don't know, got a boyfriend.
Sorry.
But, okay, yeah, I have a boyfriend, whatever. If Damiano David showed up at my front door... You saw the video I sent you of him moaning into that microphone?
We cannot get horny on the podcast. I feel like that's already crossing a boundary with our listeners. I'm so sorry.
Girl, we already had a discussion about Tom Hiddleston.
Imagine if someone is listening to this in their car and they're, like, about to drive off the road because they're thinking about Damiano David and Tom Hiddleston. Keep your eyes on the road. If you're listening to us in your car, By the way, can I just say,
No.
if you're...
Anyway. Girl, this is why we started the podcast. We're fucking funny.
We sound like such idiots. We're hilarious.
I don't care if this podcast goes nowhere because...
No, that's what I was about to say.
Because when you inevitably die before I do, I want these memories to be on. We should play games on the podcast, by the way.
That's true.
Okay.
Oh, I do have Bean Boozled.
Fuck, yeah, we need to make time for that.
We can do it next week or something. Well, I'm sure we'll bring out a game next week or something. What I was going to say is, if you're listening to this, talk to us. I want to know who is listening. Like,
Girl.
we're not, can I say, I don't deem this a success if we get views.
No.
I deem this a success already because I have had
so
the
much
most fun
fun
recording this. But if you listen and you, like, enjoy this and you want to talk to us, please,
I want to hear it all.
any platform we end up uploading this on, or our TikToks, if you go to our TikToks, talk to us. I love that. I understand, like, why influencers...
If you're not a minor.
If you're a minor, I'm not going to talk to you. But...
So, I hate to break it to you, I'm not going to talk to a minor.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be listening to this podcast if you're a minor. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I don't think we talk about anything too racy.
No.
Maybe if you're
I hate to break
16, 17.
I hate to break it to people who are listening. This podcast, by definition, is not going to be that racy. Politically, socially. Hate to break it to you.
For the sake of Madison's career, we cannot go into some of the topics that maybe you would request us to go into.
You can do that on your own platform.
Yeah,
I do.
Trust me. If you want to know my opinion, go to my TikTok and I'll give it to you. But for the sake of your job, we're not going to do that.
I'm not going to do that.
We cannot do that as much as we would like to. And trust me, if something is happening...
Oh, if it's like...
And you want to know
crazy,
my opinion...
Go to Moldy Cheese Slice on TikTok.
Go to Moldy Cheese Slice on TikTok and you'll hear it, I'm sure.
But back to fans, how many followers do you have on TikTok? Ballpark?
I know at least 1,000 because I have the option to go live.
I hit 11,000, and see, when I start this podcast, I don't really want fans. I want,
No, I want like, genuinely, if, this podcast ends at some point and we get, like, a couple cool internet friends out of this,
dude,
shit.
Perfect scenario.
And then if it does take off, honestly, we're probably in some trouble. We are probably in some trouble.
We're probably in trouble because Gabbie Hanna brought up her fucking names in her video.
No, because that's what I'm saying. We would be in trouble because we can't... This is gonna... Like I said, when Frenemies fails you, we're gonna talk about everything. Everything. We are going to talk about absolutely everything that we can.
If all else fails, babe.
Listen, Jenna Marbles leaving the internet was probably one of the saddest days of my life. And I know I keep bringing it up.
Did you see they privated their TikTok? Or not the TikTok account.
Twitters. They deleted their Twitters, which honestly, good. Twitter is a hellhole sometimes.
Girl, I want fans on Twitter. Because I think I got some funny thoughts sometimes and nobody follows me. Maybe you'll like a TikTok. Or not a TikTok, but a tweet. Every once in a while. Girl, did you see my Candace tweet?
Do I want to see your Candace tweet?
Yeah. No.
On the podcast, Madison. On the podcast.
I think I'm funny and therefore I'll show you.
Welcome to Plan Z. Who did you... What?
It says, who the fuck is Candace?
Who is Candace?
Candace dick fit in your mouth. You did not just fall for that on the podcast. I know you didn't fall for that on the podcast. Tell me you're lying. Did you follow that on the No. No. You did.
The thing is I saw that photo twice earlier. And I was going to ask you about it. And I said, I don't care. And this is why I don't care about things. Because this is what happens. Do you ever have a friend who's a liar? Who's a dirty, filthy liar?
Girl, I just have a thing for those jokes because I got one of our past teachers we both know and love with the up dog joke once.
Is it, what subject did they teach?
Life skills. I'll put it at that.
The very specific life skills that we both took? Okay.
Yeah. We're protecting identities here.
Yeah, I'm really... Listen, this teacher I love very dearly, and if we mentioned him on the podcast, he would somehow find out and be like, can you never speak my name again?
Yeah, but I got him with the up dog joke once, and it was so funny because it was so delayed. I was like, hey, smells like up dog in here. And it takes him a good minute, and he goes, what the hell is up dog? I'm like, not much, what's up with you? And he got mad. He got mad. And every time I see him, ever since I graduated, every time I go and see him, he always goes, same sentence. He goes, I've got one piece of advice for you. Sometimes you just gotta look in the mirror and go, what the hell are you doing? And it worked out. Look at me now.
I remember one time I was, like, talking to him about something to do with an activity that we were doing. And he just goes, I'm going to walk away, and if it looks like I'm not listening, it's because I'm not. He also, my favorite moment of this teacher was him banning our friend from talking about football. Our friend, our dear friend, we'll just call, what fake name should we give him? Oh, that's going to piss him off.
No, we're not going to do that.
Why?
I'll tell you why later, but we're not going to do Timmy.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, no. What do we name him then?
Fuck. Code Leo.
Code Leo. This Leo in our life talked about football so much to this teacher that he banned him from speaking about it.
Listen, this teacher, a whole life of being alive and doing actual crazy fucking things before becoming a teacher, just for this Leo to sit in his fucking classroom and talk about football.
And then for us to walk in, he really got overloaded in that year.
I think he's been overloaded for years, babe.
Hi, sir. If you're listening, I'm so sorry that you had to deal with us. I'm deeply sorry to all my teachers in high school.
Yeah.
Especially my chemistry teacher.
The good one or the bad one?
The one that name starts with a W.
I loved him. We're friends on Facebook.
Okay, let me tell you. He did not... So basically how it was is he taught it, but it was someone else's lesson plan. So he was like a glorified TA.
I don't think he was qualified to teach chemistry.
No, he wasn't. And that's why I got a D in chemistry.
Girl.
I still
it was
don't
his
understand
class.
it.
You know how you always make fun of me for crying during my final? It was his class. Physics.
That doesn't surprise me.
Girl, I was sitting in that fucking classroom. We were allowed to have one note card worth of notes. And I thought we were only... Because it was our second semester
You
final.
go to the name slot. Oh my god, I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what to do.
Because it was a second semester final, so I thought we were only going to do second semester things. So I didn't fucking write anything from first semester. And I'm sitting there sobbing. And... Here's how I know.
No, because I know how that goes. Why would they test you on something from first semester? We have first semester tests.
Because I needed a high B to keep my A in that class. You know how it was about A's. But here's how I know how fucked up the teaching in that school was at the time. I stayed late for that final for 45 minutes because I was crying too hard to finish it. Tell you fucking what. Crying too hard to finish it. And then I turn it in. He tells me to calm down. And I go to my next final. And I finish that final in literally 5 minutes.
I remember my economics final was like, it was with, it was one of our old friends. Starts with a C. Mm-hmm. You know who I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. We were in the classroom and everyone else was so confused over economics, but for some reason it was very simple and easy to us. We finished it in like 10 minutes and then we proceeded to draw all over this man's whiteboard just because that's what you do in high school.
I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally drawn on that whiteboard with Sharpie.
Can I tell you my favorite moment in high school?
I would love you.
You would love me. What the fuck?
Girl, I was expecting you to interrupt me.
My favorite moment in high school, at least one of my favorites, was when these two, like, freshmen were making out in the stairwell, in between classes, sucking face, in the middle of, like, not in the corner or anything, just in the middle of it.
I love that.
So I proceed. I was such a demon in high school. Don't do this. That's so rude and so unnecessary. I proceed to take my hand and shove their faces. And then just run away. Run away. Well, you were making out in the middle of the stairwell, so something was going to happen.
I got places to be. Bitch, we got 4 minutes to get from A to B.
Let's not even talk about how our high school, we can say this because it's not the first high school this has happened at. Teacher slept with a student.
That was a crazy
Genuinely,
time.
Guys.
That was a crazy
Guys.
That was a crazy month.
One of our teachers slept with our classmates. Do you know how many times I've read a news story like that and been like, that's insane. That's crazy. That would never happen. And it happened!
Girl, and some people were like, oh, to be fair, she was 16, he was 24. That is still 16.
She had to put out a whole apology on social media, and for what? She was the victim.
She was the victim, truly.
It was
I think she's doing happier now. I think she recently got a new job, I think, and she's doing a lot better.
I don't want to speak on her personal life, but, you know, as far as he goes...
He was getting his master's in teaching.
He was getting his master's. And you got... Just to be clear, you're not going to be able to find out who this is, because, frankly, after that found out, I started to understand how often this happens.
Yeah.
It's not as rare as you think.
You can't type in what you know about our personal lives into Google and find a specific result.
Yeah, we have gone to extensive lengths to make sure that no one will know who these people are, but we were there, and I remember the day of school when the news story broke.
Dude, his mugshot was going around Snapchat like a no joke.
It was everywhere.
It was
and
whack.
Let's talk about this. He was a conventionally attractive...
I would say so.
Man.
Yeah.
Why did you need to sleep with a 16-year-old? Not even sleep with... Even if they didn't have sex, why did you need to, like, be any sort of other thing than a teacher?
That's what always got me about some teachers in our high school that were a little bit too close to students. Like, there was...
It bothered me.
It bothered me because there was this one student... I was hanging out with another friend of mine, and he was like, oh, this teacher bought us Burger King. And I was like... Girl, what the fuck?
The only time that happened was when for that one class that we were talking about, we would go do activities that were out of town, and we would be in, like, the hottest uniforms that you could think of in the middle of, like, summer. So then our teacher would, like, buy everybody
but the difference is we would be at Burger King. We would get our food from the Burger King hands.
So they bought it...
Drove it to the high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then handed... Girl,
Your students aren't your friends. I understand. Believe me, there are some teachers who really did affect my life. But your students are not your friends. And those were not the teachers who treated me like I was a friend. They treated me like I was... you know, deserving of respect and everything, but they were a mentor.
Dude, we were there. We were not having a good time at the same place at the same time, so we made fun of it. We had a good time while we were there. Girl, I don't want to hear about your marriage, though.
And then also, I've seen some people on TikTok who have messaged their old teachers after high school, and their teachers will meet up with them when they're adults, or these... women who start their OnlyFans. And believe me, we are sex positive here on this podcast. We love our sex workers. Go ahead, do your thing. But their teachers from, like, middle school or high school will follow their OnlyFans.
I'm going to need you to tell me the story when we're done here.
It's not, like, and I've heard it from multiple people.
Okay, cool. But
that's like a thing. That is a thing for sex workers, having to worry about people who knew them as children following their OnlyFans.
I don't want people knowing me from 2 years ago to know who I am.
All respect to sex workers, because if that happened to me, I couldn't imagine how painful that would be.
I would be so uncomfortable.
You would be like, were they looking at me when I was a child that way? Like, that puts so many things into your head that I don't know if I would be able to handle.
For real, though.
If any of my old teachers watch this podcast, I'll be like, why? Why do you want to hear from me?
Great that you're catching up, but I don't want to... Listen, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, I said earlier, if I would get some new internet friends, but let me tell you, if you know me in real life and you're watching this podcast, don't talk to me about it. Don't talk to me about it.
Talk to me about it.
Don't talk to me about it. I'm gonna put that out there right now. If you are from my real life and you are watching this podcast and you speak to me about it, I'm going to literally cringe because I cannot understand that other people perceive me. Which is...
I don't expect this podcast to go much anywhere.
No.
I don't want
I
this
expect
podcast...
maybe a clip to do well on TikTok. So if you see...
That Candace clip is going to do pretty fucking good.
God, I knew you were going to use that one.
But
I knew you were going to use that fucking Candace clip, and this is why. You know what?
Girl, I'm the producer, the editor, the videographer.
Don't act like I didn't offer to do things.
You're right, though. Anyway,
we're getting close to an hour and a half, so...
Do you want to cut this off now?
Probably cut it off. Let this not be too long of an episode. Because I don't want anyone to get overwhelmed and be like, I'm not going to listen to a 3-hour fucking episode of a podcast.
While they do dishes. But I was going to say, I don't expect this podcast to go much of anywhere. I don't expect to start this podcast and then next year being an influencer in Los Angeles.
No,
I don't want that.
I do not. I expect maybe to make a few cool internet friends, maybe read a few cool comments. Definitely, if you just have like something to say about something we were talking about.
I want to hear it.
I want to hear it.
If you want to educate us, educate us.
I'm not bullshitting you. I genuinely do get excited for comments, and it makes me feel sad because I feel like I'm like talking to other people.
Except for the ones in my comment section that are literally threatening children.
Well,
don't threaten children, my friend.
Yeah, please don't do that. But because we live in the Midwest, it is hard to...
Girl, the stars align for us to meet.
Yeah, because it's hard to meet other people who you actually have, like... a very deep and real connection with, because you're kind of just limited to the people you're around. So you just make do with what's here.
I have made do. I've made done.
Yeah, truly. We have one mutual friend. Shouts out our Leo problem.
We do.
Our Leo infestation.
We had many more.
We did have many more in high school. And if you're one of them listening...
That's your fault. That's your fault.
It is your fault. It's probably not. It's probably a little bit of both. I'll say that for me. But Madison, if you are not friends with Madison anymore, it is definitely your fault.
Girl, I see the best in everybody. I literally, the other day, I messaged this girl that I knew from my freshman year of college. I'm like, I'm so sincerely sorry that I did not give the attention that you needed in the time that you needed it. And I want to move forward as better friends, and I'm sincerely apologizing for the way I treated you.
See how easy an apology is, Gabbie Hanna? Back to that one for 2 seconds. See how easy that was?
I was so sincerely sorry. And she's like, you know what? I accept your apology. Let's go get lunch. We're going to go back to fall.
So top lesson of this episode of the podcast, don't be afraid to be wrong and apologize.
And I was wrong.
Don't be afraid that people are not going to like you. And even if they're justified in not liking you, you know? You just got to keep it moving.
You have to be okay with the fact that some people are just not going to fucking
You're going to have to be okay with the fact that you probably are going to deserve people not liking you sometimes, and that's okay.
Sometimes you do things and people don't like you because of the things you've done, and no matter how much you apologize, it's not going to fucking fix what you did. Just be okay with the fact that people are not going to like you sometimes.
Yep, exactly. So, little outro. Thank you so much.
This was a lot of fun.
For listening. This was the most fun I've had this summer. Definitely comment. I'll read all of them. I'm sure Madison will too.
Girl, I'm keeping a log.
I'm so excited. I'm excited for our next podcast. My dogs are crying in the background because they would like out of their crates. Because they can't run around while we record. So we're going to end this.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching Plan Z. Bye!